Thank you. Welcome, welcome. It's great to be here today. I'm so excited to see all of you. My name is Gina Curley, and I'm serving as platform assistant today. And Reverend Margaret is out of town, and she's on a ministerial conference back in Unity Village. And our wonderful Kelly Chaplin is here, and she'll be speaking. Kelly is training to be a licensed Unity teacher. And she's also hopefully going into the ministry. We all hope she does. And after hearing her speak this morning, I see it. I see that for her. She moved here from Minnesota years ago, and she is our local realtor for 15 years, and she is my best friend. So now we're going to welcome Lou. Thank you to give our announcements. Margot's not here to beat me up.
Good morning, everyone. June 8th already. Same thing happened last year. And the year before. And I predict next year about this time. Tai Chi fans, who's a Tai Chi fan here? You've all gone to the class? Great. Our Tai Chi class is from 3 to 4 p.m. every Wednesday here. Friends are welcome to attend along with you. Next week, it's Father's Day. And our special guest will be our very own Wayne Burchett. Come to church and enjoy the heartfelt Father's Day message that he will give. Where'd he go? There you are. Unity's one-year anniversary. Anniversary? I went to university, University. Unity's one-year anniversary celebration will be on Sunday, July 20th. There'll be a concert, an art show, great refreshments. Come bring your friends, family. More information will be arriving in your mail the first week in July. A Course in Miracles is a spiritual study course that meets every Thursday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. The course works best with a support group. Please join us for that support and discussion. Mark, are you still the docent? Yes, he doesn't know what I'm talking about. For personal prayer support today, please go to the prayer room after the service. It's that little room right there with the cushy chairs in it. Reverend Leslie Bradshaw will be your prayer chaplain. Where is she? There you are. There she is right there, so you can recognize her. She'll be available to pray with you afterwards. And if you would like a prayer chaplain to call you and do a personal call for you at home, sign up in the fellowship area, and you will have that happen. Now it's time to have a church service.
Thank you, Lou. Each Sunday morning, our children meet in Suite 130 to learn Unity principles through art and stories. We always keep them in our hearts, and each Sunday, we send them a special blessing. Here at Unity, we tell our children, "You are God's perfect child, and I love you just the way you are." Please remember that you are a child also, and remember the little child in you. Let us say that together to our children and to ourselves. You are God's perfect child, and I love you just the way you are. Here at Unity, we greet you in the name of all that is beautiful and sacred, where we embrace all spiritual paths that teach love. Unity offers a positive path for spiritual living that helps to support people in expressing their divine potential for healthy, abundant, and meaningful lives. Unity welcomes people of every creed, color, ethnicity, age, socioeconomic background, sexual orientation, and people with disability. Unity leaves no one out. We also like to say that you're not here by accident, but by divine appointment, and thank you for joining us and sharing your presence with us today. And now we're going to open the service with prayer. And just before we do that, I just wanted to honor Dr. and Reverend Maya Angelou, who most of you know passed this week. And watching Oprah speak of her and seeing them speak about Maya and the things that the path she led for women and her race and all of us is just something I just wanted you to think about today and honor her. So now we'll lead our service in prayer. Dear Father, Mother God, we are so grateful to be here today as a family, as a church, as in fellowship. We're so grateful for Kelly and the service she's done for this church. We're grateful for our board. We're grateful for our sweet Reverend Margaret. We're grateful for our musicians and our sound and our youth program and all our volunteers. We're grateful for every member sitting here today. We have so much to be thankful for. We have so much joy in our lives here at Unity. Please bless our leaders in the world, our military, and peace be upon this world, and anyone suffering in the world or here today, have your divine love and spirit. We ask that your love and guidance be with us today and every day. In Jesus' name, amen. And now we're going to share the good news. And now we're going to are we going to do good news, right? No, we're going to do the soloist. Now I get to introduce the soloist, which I love, Ben McLean. I was telling Ben earlier that he had to tell us where he lived because whenever us single girls see such a handsome, cute guy, we always kind of wonder, well, where does he live? So Ben lives in North Hollywood, so it's kind of a drive, gals. But anyway, he's currently touring in a two-man comedy music act called Daka Boom. And he was recently on NBC's Sing Off, singing with Aurora, which is super awesome. And I think you're going to be just amazed by him today. Thank you. Come up, Ben.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye.
Wow, thank you, Ben McLean. That was awesome. Thank you. So now it's time for the good news. Here at Unity, there is always good news. And if you have good news to share, we would love to hear from you. Please raise your hand right where you are, and Donna Nam will bring you the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We will.
Ladies first.
I'm so thankful to be back here today after my big accident fall about a month ago. I did come back one other Sunday to help in Sunday school, but I looked so terrible. I hope nobody saw me. I was all shades of gray. But thanks to my wonderful family, mainly my daughter Ellen, who took me in for about 3 weeks, helped me recover. And I'm grateful for all your prayers, which I'm sure helped a lot. Thank you.
Blessings. Yes.
I've got a bunch. First of all, Bonnie did not hit me in the nose. I know that's a rumor that's going on. Not true. Skin cancer, no big deal. Who else had it? Yeah, you've had it. You've had it. We've all had it. No big deal. Well, they didn't tell us when we were young, like the rest of, like a lot of you, we baked with baby oil and just laid out like bacon. You know, we didn't know. So that's number one. Number two, I want to thank Liz for asking us to participate in the Interfaith Council of Orange County a couple of weeks ago. She did a phenomenal job, and some of us were there. A little applause for Liz. She did a great job.
Yay, Liz.
Thank you. Where's Jeff? Jerry. Where's Jerry? Jerry's gone. Okay. For those of you who need a good handyman, use Jeff. He came and fixed my toilet. Jerry, him too, both of them, Jerry and Jeff. And you're getting a little bit of a joy of what's going to happen next week when I do have the microphone going up here talking about Father's Day. Come prepared. There'll be some laughter and there'll be some tears. You are phenomenal, Ben. You. Whoa. Whew. Lastly, 2 Fridays ago, the love of my life graduated from Saddleback College. She, after 2.5 years in curriculum in health information technology, Saturdays and Sundays going to homework every night, and just phenomenal. She also was invited to be a member of Phi Theta Kappa, which was an honor society, and she graduated cum laude. My lovely wife, Bonnie.
Congrats. Yay, Bonnie. More good news. Carol.
My name's Carol, and this has been a real joy in our family. My 9-year-old grandson, Micah, the older one, has just been accepted into the All-American Boy Choir. And we went to his first rehearsal yesterday, and oh, they are good. And they are self-policing. The kids in it manage all the discipline, and if they think you're not sitting up straight enough, they'll just reach forward. It was really cool to watch. Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah. Wonderful news. More good news.
Anyone else?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Now Donna's going to introduce our gift.
Yes. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Donna Nam, and Unity of Aliso Viejo is a tithing church. And what that means is that 10% of what you generously donate goes back out to the community to do God's work. And this month's tithe is going to an organization that I have the pleasure of being associated through my work at Chalk, and that association is Threads of Love. And we have Ann and Jackie here to share with you the really special work that they do, and to accept the check. Okay, that's to come. So come on up and welcome Jackie. We do have a check, and Ann. Here you go. You don't need that?
I have a big voice. I'm used to speaking.
Can everyone hear Jackie? Okay.
First, I want to thank Donna for the opportunity to share the story of this city of Threads of Love. I'm a real emotional person. I've been doing this for 18 years. I still cry every time I present this song ministry to anyone. Anyway, Threads of Love started 20 run any size between 12 by 12 to 24 by 24. And anything in between, it doesn't even have to be square. But this is how we get rid of all of our scraps. One side always has to be square. One side can be fixed on the top. It's fine. But the reason being is that if the child is to roll it up and use it for a popping unit, it must be in a soft fabric. So we get lots of use for this. And then our last thing that we provide is rather than having students have to be out of the light so many hours a day. So rather than having the white hospital suit with that logo on it, we want something bright and pretty out of that baby. So when mom and dad come in, they know their baby is this. Whatever their pattern is, that's theirs. This is how we get rid of, not rid, that's the wrong word, how we use. We are always seeking donations of fabric. And, you know, a lot of times we get things that aren't too baby friendly. They always are used on the back of these isolettes. You want to show another one that's very used. And we try and keep the front baby. Now this particular one is flannel, but it's dark enough that this can be used as a singer instead for the people that serve. This is what we do. This is also a very popular program, and Anne's hospital, they call giraffe. She has what's called giraffe colors. Now it's not that cute, they just have these colors. Giraffe is huge, but they're huge and making a lot more fabric. So I'm glad they haven't approached me here, but they're the new incubators and $150,000. Wow. Yeah, for a small baby, it's an amazing experience. Yeah, it's Molly. Yeah, Anne and I have seen babies at 9 ounces. I'm not saying in a minute, but we have seen that. But if they're about a pound and a half, they have a very good chance, really good chance. So, like I said, Anne is in South County. I'm in North. We're always looking for volunteers or fabric and or money. Thank you very much for this. Our flannel is our biggest thing that we need, but we cotton constantly. But the flannel is purchased the day after Thanksgiving at Joanne, and it's $1.29. And last year, the little boy ran out, so this year, due to generous donations from the community, this church, we were able to buy 5,000 yards. And so that is taken care of. And we're in the out there, you can see all the stuff that we do outside. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you.
And now it's time to sing. So let's all stand and sing together the
We're singing Rainbow Connection.
Rainbow Connections.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side?
And now our musicians will lead us into a time of meditation.
Spirit, by your love, I now rest in your eternal arms. Quietly I go within and hear. Be still and know that I am God.
Be still. Relax into your chair, knowing that this is a safe and loving space for you to be in. Turn your attention inward to that which beats your heart and breathes your body. What is this infinite source? Where is it? Some call it the God seed, and it dwells inside of you. As you envision this God seed, you may see it as a brilliant, bright, white light. As you acknowledge its presence, you notice that this white light grows inside of you, completely filling you with love and warmth and joy like you've never known before. There's so much your body can't contain it, and it spills out into the room, showering everyone in the room with this wonderful white light, so much so that it spills out into the building, into the city, reaching through the entire state. All of this love emanating inside of you completely engulfs and wraps around the entire globe. Be with this feeling, how good this feels to be filled and to be generating this type of love, this much love. Enjoy. Returning our attention back to this time and space, we are so grateful for having taken this moment of spiritual nourishment and knowing that anytime we wish, anytime we're feeling scared or lonely, we can tune into this God seed and be filled with God's love from the inside. And so it is.
Sing with me now, Sweep Over My Soul.
Sweep over my soul. sweep over my soul. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep over my soul. Sweep out hate and fear. Sweep out hate and fear. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep out hate and fear. Sweep in love and peace. Sweep in love and peace. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep in love and peace. Sweep in grace and joy. Sweep in grace and joy. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep in grace and joy.
And so it is.
I'm sailing away.
Bam! Wow. Ben, whew. I only hope that I can deliver the lesson as well as he just delivered that song. Thank you so much. Gentlemen, thank you for the fabulous music. Tom, thank you for making me sound good and look good. And Gina, thank you so much for being here for me this weekend. I can't tell you how much this means. My talk today is Hungry for God. And I just got to tell you, for the first 43 years of my life, I had no idea And there's a story behind this plant that this plant brings me so much spiritual nourishment that I had to bring it with me, and I just received it as a gift last night. Gina's staying, many of you know that Gina moved to La Jolla, and so she's staying at my house so that she could specifically be my platform assistant today. And she called me at about 8:30, and she knew I was working on this all day, and I was so stressed about, you're my Unity family, right? But I was still very worried that I would deliver a good message, so I probably hadn't eaten, and she called, and she kind of knew that because we've lived together, and she knows me. She said, Kelly, can I bring you anything? And I know what Gina would bring, and it would be cookies or candy or brownies or whatever, and I just knew I couldn't do that. I said, no, thank you. So she shows up on my door, and she knocks on the door and like this. She goes, here, I brought you a flower. She said, but wait, let me tell you how I decided on that. She said, I was sitting eating pickup sticks, and I opened up the fortune cookie, and you notice there's a little fortune on here, and the fortune reads, flowers would brighten the day of your close friend tomorrow. Wow. If that's not spiritual nourishment every time I look at that, I don't know what is. And I constantly make a practice now of looking for God, of finding God. Where is God? Because God was the last place I used to go, and it wasn't workable. I'd like to read a quote for you from Mother Teresa, and I came across this yesterday. I was preparing the lesson and looking for things that might be appropriate, and it just nailed it for me. The greatest disease in the West today is not tuberculosis or leprosy. It is being unwanted, unloved, and uncared for. We can cure physical diseases with medicine, but the only cure for loneliness, despair, and hopelessness is love. There are many in the world who are dying for God. I had never heard that quote, and that's exactly for so many years what I had been experiencing. Many of you know, like Gina shared, that I am studying to be a licensed Unity teacher, and this is the first time I've given the lesson here at Unity of Aliso, Viejo. And so my story is about what I know about best, which is me. And so it might sound a little autobiographical, and I share with you and I tell you this not to elicit emotion and compassion and sympathy or empathy. I share this for you to identify the human emotions and the human feelings that I went through. It could have been anyone, regardless of the story. I want you to identify with that so you know that there are other people that are going through or have gone through what you're going through, and you don't have to do it alone, and you don't have to get stuck there. What I learned in my journey, which we'll talk about in just a moment, is that only God can fill an empty heart. I thought this was a fabulous image. And did a part of the seminar, and her name was Dr. Sylvia Lang, and she's a therapist here locally. And she was going through a long litany of different emotions and the missing that correlates to those emotions. And she was going through sadness and grief and all of these, and she got to anger, and she goes, and anger is an unfulfilled need. And I immediately, in my head, skyrockets went off. Well, who is she to call me angry? And I don't need anything. What's wrong with her, right? So that was my knee-jerk emotion. Through my history of my life, I looked at that, and I was sitting there, and I was seething inside. What does she mean by angry is an unfulfilled need? I can't even believe that. Somebody must have told her to say something about anger, because I was so angry inside. From the time I was a small child, I was so angry. And when I was in an abusive relationship with my ex-husband, I was so angry. And then when we divorced, I was so angry. And all the things that had happened to me over the course of my life, I was just ready to explode at any moment. So much so that I was once, I was attacked coming home from the swimming pool, and my attacker came at me, and I just went all cray-cray all over him. And I, at the top of my lungs, was screaming every profanity. He ran, I ran after him because get back here. If you're gonna start it, I'm gonna finish it. That's the kind of anger we're talking about. I don't know if it has anything to do with the hair, but maybe. That's how angry I was. And so what I realized in that anger and that unfulfilled need as I sat there and I was quiet and I was peaceful and I was trying to be zen in front of all of these really wonderful women is she was right. I did have an unfulfilled need. I needed to know God. I needed God's love. All those places, all those things that had happened to me that were scary when I was a kid, I didn't know God. I didn't feel God. I didn't know how to self-soothe. God would work for everyone else, but if you knew what happened to me, you would know that I wasn't worthy of God's love. Now, of course, these are the things that we make up about ourselves as a child, and there's a journey that goes along with it. And I'm going to take you through that right now from having that experience of so much shame and so much not enoughness and so much despair and so lost and so broken and so empty inside to where I am now that I am so full of love and peace and unmessable. Doesn't mean things don't happen, but as I tell you this right now, I am completely unmessable because I know, like in the meditation, God is within. So my first relationship with God was that of very much of a fast food God. I grew up like nobody's business, and something would happen, and even though God was the last place I went to as of late, I mean, I did try to use God back then, so our Father, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, blah, 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 right? And maybe that'll be better, right? Well, guess what? That didn't work. And my fast food God also, when I was married, looked like me going to church. I went to a Catholic church, but I didn't go to service because I really didn't want them to tell me what to do, right? I wanted God to just do it for me, right? I just wanted to place my order with God and have it magically appear. So I would go at the off times, and I would go to church when I had a fight with my husband, when I had an unknown financial issue come up, when something was out of my control. I would go to church and I would sit in the front in the pew in the empty church and beg God to work on it and make it feel better and make it right now. And guess what? That didn't really work. In fact, what happened is probably it made it worse because I only went to God when I needed something. And my life took a couple turns. I did end up divorcing that husband, and when I did, it was kind of the beginning of a very slippery slope for me, and I turned into an absolute train wreck. I had this huge, gaping, God-shaped hole in my heart, and I was trying to fill it with relationships, with food, with alcohol, with gambling, with you name it, whatever it was. I wanted to fill that, and I was looking to outside sources to fill that hole up. I was so involved and so wrapped up in that I had a therapist who came to me and said, Kelly, you know what? You're in a very bad place. And we're going to need to do something, or I'm going to 5150 you to that extent. And at about that same time, I had a friend who came to me and said, Kelly, I don't know what you're doing, but if you don't quit it, you're going to kill yourself. And I thought, oh, how dramatic. And I realized everything was slipping out from under me. I was losing properties, I was losing money, I was losing my sanity, I couldn't get out of bed, and I was scared. For the first time in my life, I wasn't angry, I was scared. And for me, it got down to a matter of find God or die. again, that's a very dramatic thing, and maybe I am dramatic, but it was, it was that. It was, for me, it was find God or die. So I made a deal with my therapist, and I was going to do all this laundry list of things, and that wonderful friend of mine introduced me to programs for people who do things that, do try to fill the God-shaped hole with everything other than God. And he also introduced me to agape. And I loved agape, and this starts my journey of my all-you-can-eat buffet God, right? So going to agape for me is what really goes on up here. And she would speak, and I would cry. And I would be so moved. And we would all hug her as we would go out, and I couldn't tell her. I could only just cry and hug her. And I came here, and I sat, and I got filled up. And I got filled up with God. And when I would be in agape, and I would be in meetings, and I would be here at church, I would feel God's presence. But then I would go out there, and I would be lost again. It wasn't enough. I have a disease of not enoughness. It wasn't enough. Volunteer for hospice. I help out here at the church a little bit. I help out in some other groups. And what that's done for me is that's created an unfailing, unmelseable self out to someone else, and I'm making sure that they never had to feel the way that I felt. They never have to feel alone, and they may be in those dark and scary places, but I want them to know they're not alone in that. And that's where I get filled up with God. I also learned, as I'm taking the Unity classes and the Unity teachings, I learned about the 4 levels or real, something that is true, especially a fundamental and inevitably true value. The quality or state of being truthful or honest. And I will tell you what is true. Each one of you are God for me. my insides to your outsides. And now I know, through Verity Consciousness, that what it is I see in each and every one of you is what's in me as well. And that has brought me so much peace and so much joy, and has made me unmessable, has made me comfortable in my own skin. I'd like to finish with a quote that I don't think could ever be heard too many times. It's from Marianne Williamson. And it's big. It just means a lot to me. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? That's what I see in all of you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just for some of us, it's for everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Let's take a moment to know this inward. Tuning into the God that not just protects us, guides us, and surrounds us, but the very God that's within us. Knowing that as we teach our children in unity, there is no spot where God is not. And that love of God, allow it to fill your soul and overflow into everything you do. And so it is.
This is the moment, this is the day when I send all my doubts and demons on their way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play, is here and now today. This is the moment.
Fantastic, Ben. Thank you. Isn't that exciting? Kelly, thank you. That was amazing. Thank you for your story. We're really lucky to have you. I want to be calling you Reverend Kelly. Thank you, Tom and Alex. Thank you, Rob, Gary, and Lou. We have so many wonderful, Mark, all of our ushers and our greeters. Thank you so much. We have many people here who volunteer their time, and we're so grateful to you. It's great to see you here, Ned. It's wonderful that you are here and back with us. I can't tell you how much that means to see you here. We want a blessing on Vaughn. We see you in good health. Blessing come to you. And this part of our service is our sacred walk of abundance. The law of giving and receiving is a principle understood by all spiritual traditions. We invite you to experience this principle in body, mind, and spirit. As you feel comfortable, please come forward on either side and take an affirmation blessing from the crystal bowl. If you have a financial offering, please place it in the silver plate. If you do not have a financial offering this morning, please still come forward and bless the bowl and take a blessing. Some of you give it your, your credit card and through the mail and through many other different ways, so please don't hesitate to come up and receive a blessing from the bowl. So let us speak our offering blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. Amen.
Now let us affirm our offerings by singing together our offering song, I Am So Blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed.
Jesus.
I really love this part of the service. We welcome our newcomers. So if you are here for the first, second, or third time and not have been recognized as a newcomer, we invite you to stand so that we can welcome you. Do we have anyone who would love to stand? We won't embarrass you or make you feel uncomfortable. Any newcomers? Yay. Okay, thank you. Our ushers have a packet of information they would like to bring you, and we would love the opportunity to bless you, so please remain standing. Okay, so our blessing for you today is, you are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. We bless you with all the love in our hearts. Your presence makes a difference. Welcome home. Thank you. For most of us, when we found Unity, we felt we had come home. I know Kelly told me that when she came here. I know I came back through the back and sat in the back and kept waiting for certain things to be said that I would be able to get out if I didn't like it. And here I am about, almost 20 years later. So, so have faith. It's great. So we truly hope that you feel comfortable here, and please talk to any of us if you have any questions. And we encourage you to fill out the information slip on the welcome packet and take it to Mark in the bookstore. He has a gift for you. It's our way of saying thank you so much for being here, and we hope that you'll come back. Next Sunday, we have a guest speaker, and that's Wayne. Can't wait to hear from Wayne next Sunday, so please come, and that's Father's Day. And we'll come and hear what he has to say. I think if Reverend Margaret was here, she might mention this. From years and years of being here on Father's Day, we bring pictures of our father. And it's awesome. Most of our fathers have passed, and some of ours hasn't. And we put them up on the table, and it has just really been a touching experience. So if you remember to do that, go ahead and bring that. Also, if you have need of a prayer chaplain, Reverend Leslie, are you the prayer chaplain today, or would you? Reverend Leslie is our prayer chaplain president, and we're so grateful to have her. So please feel free to ask her for prayer. Many times that has brought so much comfort to me, and I hope that does you also. So now as our service comes to a close, please join me in speaking our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Amen. So let's all stand together and hold hands and sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth."